welcome. Thank you for
Thank you.
taking the time on this holiday weekend. And tell us a little bit. We have a 60-minute slot with you. We have a full hour when we started out organizing this, actually Oscar Eustace and Susan Feldman, David Binder, and also Alex Poots from the chat, who we want to say thank you. We got together and how to do that. We all thought also, of course, of the Here Art Center right away to join. So, Kristen, you are the artistic director. Tell us a little bit about it. You said, I want this 1 minute, not a 30-minute slot. I want an hour. We are actually working on that scene. We are deeply engaged. And of course, we said yes. But tell us a bit.
Sure. Well, we started thinking about how we could think about Ukraine. We had some plays we were interested in. We wrote our community of artists and former resident artists and said, hey, who wants to get involved? A bunch of people responded. We started having some conversations with artists in Ukraine and wanted to make this collaboration between the artists in Ukraine and New York City and artists all over the world. So we're excited to have you all here. We have almost all our folks in.
Fantastic. So let's just make clear, this didn't exist before the war started. This all in the last 4 or 5 weeks, you created that, you reached out from your network. Tell us a little bit. What did you said, write us a proposal or send us a text. What did you do?
Well, I want to acknowledge that John Friedman has been doing work to bring Ukraine works to the attention of theaters all over the world. So there's a network of folks who he reached out to. And so I first came across the play that we're going to read today through John. We read the plays and people started to respond and gravitate around a particular one, particularly the Ukrainian artist that we started speaking with, who you'll meet in just a moment. It kind of evolved from there.
Fantastic. So you will introduce the artist and tell us about the project.
Great. So I'm the founding artistic director of Here, and we're located on the unceded lands of the Munsee Lenape in Lower Manhattan, here in New York City. We're a producer, we're a presenter, and a venue. We support local, national, and international artists in all disciplines: theater, music, puppetry, media arts. And we are creating relevant and resonant contemporary work. That's what we do. I'm going to pass now to the wonderful Viktor.
Thank you, Kirsten. My name is Viktor Ruban. I am choreographer, performer, and movement-based artist from Ukraine, and I'm as well co-founder of Ukrainian Emergency Performing Arts Fund. And also today we are honored to share excerpts from Anastasia Kosodiy, A Timetraveler's Guide to Donbass. We would like to thank also John Friedman, who shared this and other Ukrainian works and his effort to organize 50-60 theaters across the world to raise visibility for Ukraine. It's super precious. Thank you so much for this initiative. Ximena or Alex?
Okay, I think I'm gonna go because I don't see. Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, hello. My name is Alex Borovenskiy and I represent the ProEnglish Theater of Kiev, Ukraine. Right now we are in Kiev, Ukraine, in a small theater / basement bomb shelter. And we have 10 artists from all over the world now because the war scattered us around, but we all gonna take part in reading. We're very honored to work together with NY artists from Ukraine.
Thanks, Alice. Hi, everyone. My name is Ximena Garnica, and I'm the co-founder of LEIMAY, also of the Cultural Solidarity Fund, and I'm also an artist in residency at Here. And I am connecting with the land of, from the land of the Lenape people, currently known as Esopus, New York. And I would like to thank the 20 participants that are with us today. We only had an hour and a half to meet. We did that on Thursday, and some of our just met 6 days ago for first time in our lives. We engaged in very fragile and sensitive and thoughtful reflections, and everybody has been very generous. And I'm also thankful to all of you who are tuning from different places in the world and for the opportunity to be in togetherness. I also want to say that it's really hard to organize under these circumstances where our fellow artists are literally, like Alice said, in a bomb shelter right now, engaging in these deep conversations when the war is going on, when harm and murder is going on. So we are going to be as honest as we can today with our conversations. It's not going to be about giving our academic presentations and our very intellectual frameworks. We decided to offer today ourselves as humans and to speak from the heart to you all today. So with that being said, we're gonna start reading the play. It's going to be about 30 minutes of reading. And then there is this short offering that some of the artists present today are going to share with the public. So thank you so much, Frank and Christine and Peter Arts.
So how many people are involved in the play and will be with us now right now? And tell us maybe 1 or 2 lines, what is the play about?
Well, all the people that you see here are going to be reading the play.
Fantastic.
We're distributing parts across the group, and I think let's let it.
Let's see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I see, sorry, we just had some people who were connecting late, and our first reader is going to be Kira. And Kira, I see you here. So anytime you're ready, if you want to turn on your camera, that's great. If you cannot, I understand too, because the connections. But anytime you're ready, we can start.
Yeah, excuse me, but do you have this text? Because I don't have it. Can you send it in our chat?
Sure, Kira. 1 second. And Kira, it's an artist from Ukraine. She's 12 years old actor that is joining us today.
Yeah. Okay.
We lost your video, Kira, if you meant to put it on.
Oh. Okay, 1 second. I cannot turn. Okay. In 2036, he asked me to, the old man, the inventor of the time machine, he asked me about home. What do you remember? What do I remember? Cherries, 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 a village of cherries. Or a street, cherry street, always growing on the road. With what happened in 2014, they died on their branches. In the cemetery, they don't actually eat the fruit, but instead plant fruit trees. The cherries died on their branches.
Lenora?
Lenora, your sound is off.
Why didn't you tell me
I told you
that we're traveling in time now?
that I want to find out why the war happened.
That's not an obvious connection.
Well, it's quite obvious if you're working in the field of root of causes of important historical events.
No one works in that field in the ministry. That function was removed from all the state time machines.
That's why I say that the ministry is boring.
They said it was for a different reason. The probability of paradox is too high.
And if a time traveler makes a mistake, then a day will come and the evening will come when the time traveler will look up at the sky and see no stars there. And this will mean that his mistake has caused a paradox, and he's the last one alive in the eye of the storm, and the storm will soon cover him, and there will be no one and nothing, because time will end. Oh, that's my personal definition of a paradox. Do you know how the function works?
In theory, the function should identify a specific place in space and time where a turning point is located, which triggered the development of an event of historical significance. The less the physical distance to the event, the smaller the margin of error.
That is to say,
the function will allow us to understand why the war happened. If you get close enough to the start of it, do you think we can use it without creating a paradox?
if we're careful, then yes. If we prevent errors,
How will we know if we prevented them?
well, look at the sky.
Time travelers travel for the purpose of academic studies. Studies about the transformation of the Donbass into an agricultural region, about how the mines closed down, about how miners became tractor drivers, about the ecosystem of the former front, abandoned animals like the dogs and cats, chickens, cows, even horses that weren't taken by those fleeing the war because there was no place to take them, about what became of them, the dogs, cats, chickens, cows, even horses. In Zaporizhia, my apartment was in a residential area next to a small wood. Sometimes a herd of wild horses would go there, not horses left behind by anyone, just on their own. It's probably like that here as well, or it will be. It's 2018. Working in the ministry, they would never let me go here. It's a conflict of interest, but I'm not working for the state. I'm staying with the inventor at the Hotel Friendship, and we're renting 2 rooms because that's what friends do. It's 18 years in the past. It's a boring city. It was never occupied. A lot of refugees. Not a single bookstore. Terrible roads, a lot of soldiers. Now it's called Pokrovsk. 2 years ago, it was Krasnoarmeysk.
3 foreigners came up to me in my dream about Pokrovsk. One foreigner says, I live in Texas. I keep bees. I'm going to Russia to watch the World Cup. He only drove through Ukraine because he'd never been here before, never. Really, I'm from Egypt. Only 6 years ago I moved. I ask what you think of Trump, of that great president. To the politician Trump, the beekeeper from Texas shrugs his shoulders, whatever.
Second foreigner says, I'm from Finland. Do you like Ukraine? Yeah, I've been here many times. I lived in Kyiv. I got sent to Transcarpathia for work to cut wood. The locals didn't like people like me, but that's a huge problem, you know, I say. A huge problem in Transcarpathia, yeah, but I was just a simple worker, says the Finn. I couldn't do anything. I was a worker bee. Well, yeah, of course.
Ozzy?
The third foreigner says, I'm from Stuttgart, a town in Germany. Yeah, I say for sure from Germany. But what are you going to do about AFD politics? The AFD? He asks again. AFD. Well, yeah, the German confused the smiles. I don't know. I don't know a lot. One morning, there were a lot of them, like a swarm of bees. Even in my city, where there were generally many migrants, I don't know what to do about it. The foreigners say, we are your personal guardians. The OSCE are your personal guardians. Yours.
Show us. It's so loud in my head, but show us with your finger. What's so terrible about these uncles and aunts that wander about like monsters in the darkness across your black-hearted land?
In the main avenue, down from the phallic monument to the unknown soldiers who died in World War II. Your name is unknown, your feet is eternal. The sun is unbearable. So much sun past fountains that don't work. Roses have melted. Now the locals say Bakhmut is the city of roses. Before it was Donetsk. Now Bakhmut is the city of roses. A beautiful town, a very small town, Chekhov's district city. The city was renamed a year ago, Artyomovsk. Now it's Bakhmut. The communist Artyom, his name was really Fyodor. He just liked to sign it like that, Artyom. It was probably just a beautiful name. He founded Donetsk Republic and didn't particularly do anything else. So that in every republic of the USSR, there would be a street with his name, or even in every town, probably just a beautiful name. The town of Artyomovsk now is Bakhmut. It has a legend about Artyom and his jet engine. Beautiful cities need legends. This one's a bit strange though. They say Artyom loved speed, that he put a jet engine on a train carriage. He probably wanted to go to Moscow, like Chekhov's heroes. The engine exploded. Artyom exploded as well.
They don't want to let us in. They say check-in is from 2 p.m. He asks, can we at least put our car in your parking lot? They say, only after 2. Maybe they have coffee here? Nope. I went to ask and they said, no, breakfast starts at 8. And if we're gone by 8, then no breakfast for you. No, indeed. We can't even take it off the price of the room. Only included. But the part is beautiful there. And there's Wi-Fi. Ridiculous. They still use Wi-Fi. Do you think that's funny? All the street names have changed. Tomorrow, the machine will take us to 2016. We can stay a bit longer. And instead of Peace Street, it'll be Artem Street. Instead of Liberators of Donbass Street, it'll be 60 years since the creation of the USSR Street. Instead of Apricot Street, October Street. Sorry, I should have said it right away, but I didn't say anything. I thought you might suddenly decide not to go.
Why is it so important that I go? I can't pay.
Sometimes you can pay without money when you have an interesting story.
What's interesting about mine?
About 5 years ago, I wrote to a woman from Scotland that I wanted to go to an island. I don't remember its name. It was in the Inner Hebrides by the Atlantic. She had money, but not enough. She would have had to mortgage her house to pay. But I didn't ask her for money. I just asked her to tell me a story about the house on the island where her mother lived. Her mother had died when she was 19. She was this woman who bought a house on a neighboring island, went there with her family, with her children, but never returned to the island where her mother had lived. Because, how would you say it? Right place, wrong time.
So what?
Nothing. It's a beautiful story. I love those kinds of stories. Don't we travel for the sake of stories? She said she loved to sit near the house and to hear her mother frying seeds in a pan, sunflower seeds.
The woman from Scotland?
Maybe. I don't remember everything.
You just don't remember all those stories.
Don't say it like that, all those stories. All those stories are better than the ones in this world. Better and worse. And who, if not you, my colleague, must.
It's not a story for me.
But it will become one day.
When exactly? When we find the reason for the war, if there is one.
There is one.
When we go back to 2036, we'll each write academic work. Will we properly reference our sources? Or when we go on the next trip and then another and another?
We can, in thought, in our travels. It's always good to be with someone.
With who?
A friend.
I never got a Scottish visa. They say it's very difficult to get one.
It's still British at this time.
Poor thing.
I've never seen the ocean, but I imagine the Atlantic during a strong wind. A ferry on the ocean, it rocks, almost capsizes. The weather changes every 10 minutes. Sun, rain, hail, sun, snow, downpour, sun.
There's a checkpoint in a half a kilometer. Ready?
Yes, only...
I'll be quiet.
Good. In other countries, on different coasts of the oceans of the world, people miss their mothers, people miss their homes. Sunflower seeds the northern lights on the December horizon, and no one more than me.
Relax, don't rush.
A soldier in a balaclava stops the car. What do you say? We go to Severodonetsk for real Lysychanskom beer. It really is very tasty. To see your terrible theater or not yours, soldier from some other city. It will be good if he's from Zaporizhia, but if he is from the West, the soldiers from the West are meaner. They don't understand what they're doing here on the same side. They say to their mothers on vacation by the sea. Sorry, I can't speak for long. To Sever? The soldier asks. To Sever? To Sever for long? No, not for very long, for a day. Well, the soldier says, I see. Okay, all right, you can go.
Fucking human factor.
We drive. For a few more kilometers, we're silent. Pine trees. There are pine trees here.
There are pine trees here.
Well, yes, there are a lot.
When we left from Lugansk in 2014, we were already getting shelled. The driver didn't really know the roads.
You got lost?
It was the start of the war. Everywhere was a gray zone.
Did you use a Russian GPS?
Wasn't exactly Google Maps. I wanted to use the road to Kharkiv. Someone said it's calmer there and there are fewer holes. And I just remember the road between the villages, the forest on both sides, nowhere to turn. And we went. And there were pine trees everywhere, pines to the right, pines to the left.
That's how people grow up. They get lost.
The most important rule of time travel.
We aren't time travelers who follow the rules now, are we? If it's one person who started the war, him or her, we have a duty to do something.
Wait a second. We are going to find out the reason for the start of the war. We're not going to serve justice and punish someone. Is that what you're hinting at? You understand that you can never go back if you interfere in the course of history. And besides that, I
never return to the country of Stolperstein.
Stolperstein? It's not right. Don't say that.
But it is right. Small iron badges, like the badges on German streets near houses of those who were taken away, never to return. Now Stolperstein is here. The school next to my house was named after a dead soldier. Every morning I crossed the road and the traffic light said, "You may cross the street of the 55th Brigade." Monuments, graffiti, the son of a neighbor who never returned. Every month some kind of anniversary. A plane shot down, Ilovaiski port, annexation, occupation, counterattack.
But these things happen in every country.
But not every country has a time machine or the possibility to look at the person who started a war.
You're going to look at them?
I look at how he answers for his actions.
This isn't why I started this journey.
Maybe it'll be my reason.
We need to talk.
There's nothing to talk about.
What you're suggesting, the way you suggest it, it's murder. Listen to me. It can't be done. I'm not even talking about the laws of time travel. You can't kill people, including in the past.
Thank you for your opinion.
Don't lose your head. We're getting very close to home. It's difficult, but you have to.
We're getting near my home, not yours. Your home is in 2036. What right do you have to talk to me about this? What do you know about it?
I saw the war just as much as you. I hate the war just as much as you. I also lost my house and friends. I almost got enlisted into an LPR battalion. I almost got sent to a basement, and I almost got enlisted into the Ukrainian army.
Oh, I see.
I created a time machine because it's a miracle to travel and to see people, not to kill them.
They enlisted you in the Ukrainian army.
Yes.
And you didn't go?
I love people.
I see.
What do you see?
My grandmother took lots of different things from Lugansk. Old journals about dressmaking and sewing, the working woman, postcards. Once I even opened a box and saw that it was political propaganda that they had handed out on the streets or sent by post for Yanukovych. She took political propaganda for Yanukovych with her, the president with the golden loaf of bread who ran away after the Maidan. My grandmother liked Yanukovych. She thought, that's a handsome man. She voted for him. You're about her age, maybe a bit younger, the same generation.
One generation whom you can blame for everything?
Not for everything, but for the war, yes. Do you disagree? I think so.
And if, when we get to Lugansk in 2013, it turns out that your grandmother did something which was the root cause of the war, what will you do?
What I have to.
I need.
The machine chose you.
I need.
I should have guessed. Sit down. This is a very serious time jump.
I need the address.
No, you don't. What is the present time?
2013, a year before the war.
How are you feeling?
Like there's a swarm of bees in my head. Loud ones. It doesn't matter. Tell me the address. I'm the driver and I need to know the address. Where to go? I don't want to get lost. There won't be any more time jumps, so I have to know the address. Which district, which street in Luhansk?
You know.
Oh, how can I know? Why would you think that I don't understand?
Let's try to calm down. Focus.
I don't understand how I know that it's 2013, that it's the time before the war, that we are in a field without any sign of sky and wheat. How do I know?
It's a side effect of the time machine.
No, it can't have this effect. There wasn't anything about this in the instructions for time travel. It can't have this effect. A time traveler is a person. A person can know the time logically through signs in the surrounding world. A person can feel them.
A person can't jump 2 years in time.
I didn't jump. The machine did.
The machine was 10 meters from you.
What is the side effect of interacting with the machine?
When a machine is connected to when a person is connected to the time machine navigation system, her memories, her emotional memory, then the machine can calculate. Then the machine can go to the root cause.
I'm connected to the machine.
Until the calculations are completed, you are a time machine too now.
Like in a GPS system, the arrow moves on the map. So an arrow will move in your head. You don't need an address. Until the calculations are completed, you know it, you will know it. I'm connected to the machine. I'm not a GPS. I'm not a time machine. I'm a person. I'm a time traveler.
You are all those things now.
You asked me to travel to make a time machine.
For the purpose of traveling temporarily. You're worried now. Emotions make the connection stronger.
You lied to me.
It will finish when the calculations finish.
When?
I don't know. Soon. Calm down. The more you worry, the more the machine fills your personality.
I asked you not to lie to me, but you lied. And I said that if you lied, then the trip is finished. But you knew that I would be time machine and I can't end the trip.
Historians should be known as such.
Shut up. We are going. I am taking you to a hunt, to the place where I know where I do something I hope. I really, really don't care. I love the stars, all of them. Hope. The year 2013. The year 2013. What happened in 2013? Year. Such a peaceful year before November. From the end of the 12th, I moved in with a guy. We bought a bicycle together. I learned to ride, started to explore the city with a bike. It snowed, and the snow went away. And then we went to the lake, swam. Totally randomly, I put up ads saying I could be a tutor. I found a student, I started to teach her. Now I have mixed feelings about this time I spent teaching so many weirdos. I started listening to music. I discovered all kinds of jazz, Nina Simone, or maybe I wasn't 14. For me, Nina Simone is bad news. At the end of the year, Maidan happened. There were some really tense days. I couldn't do anything except try to translate, except sit and watch stream stuff. And I remember this November, December, January, I couldn't do anything. At 14, everything changed. I started looking at everything differently. Or 2014 will happen soon. No, not yet. Don't let it come yet. It's coming.
I remember everything. Everything 2013, 2014, 2012, 2036 is there in my head. In the machine, the calculations are in my head like these. Evil these, maybe. Maybe I'm evil. The funny story is evil. The girl went to Luhansk and now there is no Luhansk. Where there is my memory, where there is a memory overflowing like water from head to head, the Luhansk road from the Baltsko in 2013 went in spring early in the morning. At 4 in the morning, the light shines a little bit and no one sleeps. It's Easter now, not early spring. People are going to church. People are coming from church. They carry holy things, Easter wine and salted sausages, yay! And trees bloom everywhere, such a white city everywhere. Fruit trees blossom. Now the fruit trees have already borne fruit.
These are my memories. You're speaking with my memories now. The radius is narrowing.
And I don't understand what is good or bad. I don't understand where I'm going. All the names, the old street names changed after the war. And here are the old names.
You know, this is the final stage of calculation.
No. I don't want to know anything about this. I don't want.
Good.
The road through the country goes on and on. On and on and on forever. I don't understand. I want to stop for a bit in the city, but the road leads to the wrong place.
It means we're outside the city.
Yeah, the place where it all began.
Yes.
So many apricots lie.
Right on the ground.
And so many cherries.
They are already ripe.
We'll drive like a tortoise. Though without petrol, I don't understand.
Slow down.
The car is slowing down.
Apparently, it's right here. We're at the center of the calculation. Your memory is so strong that it is stronger than the machine.
Or it's the center of a paradox.
We have arrived?
Yes, we've arrived.
Look, how many cherries are on the road?
Cherry Street.
Cherry Street.
Your Cherry Street.
We have arrived. It's my village. Oh God, I didn't realize.
It's your village.
Cherry Street, I didn't recognize my village.
Where is your house?
I don't know. Is there? I think it's there or there. I will look at the trees. I can't get my bearings this quickly.
The machine will bring you there.
The machine is broken or disconnected. We should have arrived where the war started, but where is we are in my village. Maybe I missed an error in the calculations.
The machine wasn't mistaken.
The war didn't start in my village. I lived in this village. I would know.
Just go.
The war didn't start in my village. Cherry Street also, there are a lot of apricots, different houses, some spread with clay white ones, like they were crafted from the clay, and others out of the stone or concrete. In the winter, they are cold and a little uncomfortable. Should the slabs fall from the ceiling more? Houses break better than the others taller. It's evening, it's dark.
Look at the sky.
We have arrived.
No stars.
It's the neighbor's house. My house is across from us. That's the neighbor's cow. I don't get it. It's the neighbor's house, and my house is opposite behind. That's the neighbor's cow. I don't get it completely.
What's the day today?
22nd July 2013.
The day you told me about.
No, the day before.
What will change tomorrow?
They will kill the cow.
Why?
Why do people kill cows? For meat, for leather. Maybe it's ill. Maybe the neighbor's too old for cows. Why are we here?
Because the machine has brought you here. because you brought the machine here to see the source of a historical event. And here we'll see.
The source of the war.
Will you say it, or do you want me to?
No,
What do you mean, no?
I cannot say this.
You cannot say what the cause of the war was, even when you're looking at it?
I cannot sound what caused the war.
Can you say that killing a cow started the war?
In my village, the death of the cow started the war.
It's a very good cow.
Yeah, I expect so. A very good cow.
Or not. There's also a calf. They will kill that tomorrow.
And this will start the war.
Between Ukraine and Russia.
The war between Russia and Ukraine.
I wonder where your neighbor is.
Probably with some other neighbors. He will come back at some point.
Yeah, he will come back at some point.
I wonder, what can I do?
I can sit here on the grass. Sorry, I'm old.
I'll sit down as well.
We will just wait.
Here, on the grass.
Pilgrim 1 and Pilgrim 2 are sitting on the grass. The cow tied to a stake is standing. Night falls. There are stars in the sky. The end.
Thank you, everyone, for that reading, for sharing your generosity and your talents with us. We're going to have a discussion now. I'm going to invite James to share some thoughts that he has.
Well, so the thing that I think is the biggest problem with this war is the not knowing what is true and what is false. Before the war started, well, I have some former friends in Russia now who are sending me all these videos and saying, look at this stuff that's not happening. Look at this stuff that's not happening. And I told him, no, that's really happening in Ukraine. People are being killed, bombs. And I said, I'm not going to believe anything that I haven't seen live with my own eyes. And they said, well, thank you for putting your head in the sand. And in one way, they're correct, because if we don't open our eyes to new thoughts, then how can we advance? But how can we know what's real and what's not real? Anybody can put any kind of crazy thing on the web, on the YouTube, Facebook, and it's very hard to find out, to decide what's real. And that's what I'm trying.
Yeah, I would like to add something on the topic of being in the present and being in the future and being in the past, and everything that the play talks about, and how if we could travel to the past and how we could think of what have I done wrong, what could I have done differently, on which butterfly did I stab that it turned out like this. And I don't know why I was trying to make a connection there, but I keep remembering on this one piece of my life when I was like about 4 or 5 years old. We had a garden with my grandparents, and my grandfather assigned me a little field with strawberries, and I was taking care of them. And now how I think it's not even connected to the war and everything, but it's gone now. We don't know that that garden anymore. My grandparents are gone, and I don't even have a home now, and I can never go back there. And I think that's what a lot of people are feeling right now. Like we can never go back to what was before 2014, before 24th of February. Yeah, so this is it.
And we were told to speak from our heart, although I do have a history as an academic. And even in the play, I have that part. So I do have to say that it's been a tactic of colonizers to destroy the history and the collective memory of a country and of a culture. And I think this relates to not being able to go back to the strawberry field. When I've seen that, the building, the theater destroyed, and the cultural monuments destroyed, and the archives, which contain the history of also what Russia did in Ukraine to Ukrainians, being bombed. I think this is an attempt to eradicate, as has been said, Ukrainian national identity. And yet Ukrainians have such a strong sense of identity. But I think, will the future be affected by this attempt to eradicate part of the past? We can only wait and see, or take what action we can to try to prevent the past from being erased.
I will join to this topic of past and the future, or past versus the future. I don't really think that changing the past could change the future, because the future is a very complex thing. And in a way, there is a question of time and there is a question of presence, because like in this binary of future and past there is one element, very crucial element is missing. Although what is precious about this piece is that time traveling and like revisiting the past to learn from the mistakes and to learn from the experiences that we
frozen.
Paying not only attention, but paying giving value to what's done. A human being is not growing on the absent land. Like human being is growing from the past in a way. But what's important, it came in my mind that there is something about freedom together about this. Like it's very easy to think of a freedom as achieved status, but actually freedom is something that you are building up each moment and you're regaining each moment. And this is something about future indeed. So this is my message, that it's very important, and we are learning to pay more of attention and pay more of our, there is a responsibility and a lot of things there, but like really embracing the past and to go to the future, but really being present, being extremely present. And this is what we are practicing at this moment.
Thank you, Victor. I resonate a lot with the being present and practicing that, because even we are approaching this conversation as such and this encounter as such. And I also was thinking about values and taking granted our values and how we come together through values and not necessarily to the national state. Yes, we have identities, yes, we have a state, but how we come together through our values. And then I want to offer some of the questions that we ambitiously wanted to talk about it, but it was impossible with the time we had and with the structure of our encounter. So I'm just going to read them. And it has to do with the past versus the future. Is it possible to change the future by changing the past, eradicating the past or collective memory as a target? And then we were also wanted to talk about global responsibility and practicing local citizenship, this idea of the local and the global, practicing humanity in a global perspective. How do we cultivate care for each other? And we also were talking about the power of dreaming and as an action, living in war, storytelling, and envisioning the multiplicities of time and the resistance to false realities, and when dreaming is used so far. But personally, I feel like how can we be as artists propellers of imaginations and propellers of transformations, as translator, but also as propellers. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ximena. And I want to talk about our global responsibilities and personal responsibilities at the same time, because as individuals, if we don't act as an individual, or if we don't fulfill our responsibilities, I don't feel that there will be at the end some global action. So what I feel, because on 24th of February, I was in Kiev. I just woke up as an ordinary day to go to ProEnglish theater for graduation from Alina's class, and it's just disappeared. Yeah, and as I had so many plans on Monday, for Monday and Tuesday, and they're all interrupted. In fact, our lives are interrupted, my life interrupted, and 40 million people and their neighbors all around the world, life just stopped, you know. Every day we are waking up, at least I'm waking up, and I know that some of my friends are waking up with the thoughts of the people who are dying there, who are being tortured there, killed there, and so on. So instead of like just thinking about the future, I feel we need to focus on now, and I feel all the countries, all the people should focus on what we can do now, because these people are being killed and tortured now, unfortunately, not in 1945. And that's really hurting me. It's really hurting me. I know some of the people are just partly feeling it, but I feel in my veins, and it really hurts me. This is so hard. So instead of thinking that this war is going to finish, we should know that this war must finish, and we must do something just now. So that's all what I can say now.
And speaking about now, I would like to thank you all for your attention, to the whole audience. And I mentioned already in my introduction about the Ukrainian Emergency Performing Arts Fund. And like there are a lot of artists. I'm very happy, and I'm really grateful even for ability to be present on this event, because some of the people cannot, on different issues, like because of being in danger or being in precarious conditions or in really dangerous places. And that's for what we, me and my colleagues, we established Ukrainian Emergency Performing Arts Fund, and we are gathering funds to help the artists that are staying in war and joining the resistance, and like helping this war to end with the, with the, including our voices, artistical voices, and our efforts. So just to say about it and to voice it out, that we are very grateful for your solidarity and the presence that I was talking about, that we are practicing here in Ukraine. We also feel it. We really feel how you all, each of you, including, as Ozzy said, and other people around the world on the solidarity actions, we really feel it. That you're practicing this presence with us, and it's really precious. It's very grateful. And if you would like or have the possibility to contribute and to support also the artists, like, we will be also very grateful for that. And thank you again for organizing this event. Alex, maybe you will continue.
Yeah, thank you, Viktor. It's so nice to see you here. Like, we're both in Kiev. Yeah, and thank you everyone for this event. It's really important. Kosodiy's play is wonderful. Many topics discovered. If I had a time machine, I would go back and kill Putin. Basically, that's what I would do to stop the war. But it's not the point. The point is, it does feel like a family right now to see the guys from ProEnglish who are in different parts of different countries now. To see Viktor also in Kiev, we never collaborated before, to see this New York artists all together, feeling like a part of a family. Like in Ukraine, we have this proverb, the family unites before the danger, in front of the danger. So that's how the family unites. And it feels tremendously together to be with everyone in these days and to understand that we're not alone. And Ozzy, the guy who was speaking before, I'm in English right now. If you want to have a class, you should come. We're here in Kiev. It's a wonderful city. And, we're still collecting funds for ProEnglish. We got this Patreon account for ProEnglish Theatre. If you want to support us, you totally can. We're in Kiev. We're still creating performances. Plus, we do volunteering work. Just yesterday, we sent a whole bunch of medicine to Kharkiv, to the territorial defense forces, and to the army guys who need medicine. We just bought it and sent it out there. And 2 days ago, we bought this generator for electricity for the woman in Bucha, because Bucha is a small city destroyed around Kiev region, and this woman has no electricity and no thing, so we just bought it and sent it her. If you want to support us, you totally can from the theater Patreon. Artistically, you can voice it out because everybody here are artists, so you can create things. Stage Ukrainian artists, do performances about the situation. It's also important. Thank you, everyone. That's cool to do art in these days.
Thank you all so much for joining us. And thanks to Frank for creating the platform for us to have the conversation that we've been able to have with each other through this process. It's been really beautiful to just see your faces from all over the world, thinking about how we can be support of each other and in community with each other. And I thank you.
It is quite stunning to see your faces and your locations. It's Istanbul and Los Angeles, it's Kiev and Odessa, it's homes, but also shelters. And it's quite an unusual reading. I haven't seen anything like it. How does it feel for our friends in Odessa and Kiev to be reading, or Istanbul, reading with people so far away?
It feels awesome. What Alex has talked about, this feeling of unity is really, really great. And this is also what we can do now to help us, live through the difficult times, to do art and to dream about the future.
Yeah, and we will send us, you have all of my emails, send us the places we could donate to if we wanted to, and we will put it on our link. So really thank you all so much for being part of this in such a short time, and really all my respect to Kirsten and Here Art Center, next to the enormous amount of production they do, that you reacted so fast to create space, to invite people, have a play done, written, and get 15 people together to read now. It is truly stunning. So really thank you, all our respect, and I think it shows that New York is not an island, that no one really is an island, and that we are connected, and how significant and important these connections are. And we saw this with our own eyes now, and I think this is something we can believe. So thank you all. We are moving on to our next segment. And so goodbye to our friends in Odessa and